Chidi, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. Congratulations on a working man.
Well, thank you very much, Manny. It's nice to meet you.
I love Dutch. I love the fact there was a moment when we got to screen the film where he says the name of the film in stride with what he's talking about. These are the hands of a working man. I lost it. I love that kind of stuff. It feels like a very classic action film. So
Yeah.
it's really fun. Tell us a little bit about Dutch.
So, Dutch is an interesting character. He's complex, such a big force of nature, but with such calm energy. You know, um, he's from Chicago. It so happens that him and Levon Cade have similar backgrounds because they were both in the military. But Levon Cade, ends up being a working man, working class man, and Dutch ends up in the underworld. So it's interesting that they have that brotherhood as well from the military background.
What I really liked about your character Dutch in specific and the rest of the characters in the cast is they're not black and white. There's a lot of a wiggle room as to allow audiences to just go on the ride instead of just being able to label them. How important is it for you to just not have that good guy bad guy label in the character that you're playing?
It's great. It's also working with David Ayer, gives you that freedom to create. I remember asking a few questions about, what kind of bad guy this guy is. It's like, Chidi, I just want you to keep it real and do whatever you want because this is your world. And I was like, this is amazing. So I like that, Dutch wasn't this typical bad guy. He's there chilling, smiling, taking his shots while, his boys are getting beat up, by Levon Cade. So it was good that he wasn't just a classic bad guy. He has some depth to him as well.
Because depending on the scene, we get a little different feel for him, a different vibe, and I really like that. Don't want to talk anymore about that in particular because I want people to enjoy your character the way I
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
So it's fun that way. Tell me about going toe to toe with Jason Statham.
Oh, it was fun. It was it was a intense fight scene. We trained for a couple months, for that scene. Stunt work was great. The stunt training we had, those guys were amazing to work with, and it was great to be learning from someone like Jason that has done this for years. So for me to fight toe to toe with him on a nice, solid scene like that was a great experience. Learned a lot.
Well, what was one of your takeaways from the fight scenes that you learned that will probably stick with you in future roles?
It's the detail, is the discipline and the attention to detail. Every little detail matters. Sometimes you want to skip some stuff. You're like, oh, that's okay. That looks good on camera. But no, you have to come back and fine tune all these things to make it perfect. So I'm going to take that with me. Attention to detail.
I mean, you're working with the who's who in action films. I'm talking, you know, David Ayer, Jason Statham, and Eddie Fernandez, who I really like his work as well. So it must have been great. What do you look for, Chidi, in an action film? What are some of your the items on the checklist that makes a great action film?
It's the storyline. The storyline is one. The action is obviously a big deal because that's what we all love to see. We all love classic action films. That's why they're still doing so well now. So fight scenes need to be on point. The action scenes need to be on point. Cinematography needs to be on point. So those are the things I look for to be in an action film.
Chidi, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate your role, Dutch, and I can't wait for everybody to see him.
Thanks for having me, Manny. I appreciate
It's
it.
nice
Nice
to meet
meeting
you.
you.